Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, with my amazing ride or die co-host, Drew. How's it going today, Drew?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Okay, before we even get into the Challenge 38 episode 15, I have to say I started watching part one of your Cara Maria video, and it's really good. Like,
Thank you.
I'm like watching it. I'm like, this should have been on MTV. It's a really good beginning so far. And I'm like you have all these clips of her from like before she was on the challenge. Like you did so much work, and I'm learning so much by watching it. So thank you for all the work and effort you put into it so far. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for checking it out, and thank you for that incredible compliment. I mean, I find it that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself for it because of who she is and the impact she had on the show, and how many people had looked up to her and admired her through her whole challenge journey. That I'm happy that people like part one. Puts a little bit more pressure on part two, but I feel like I have a little bit more confidence going into part two, even though I feel like I need to make it just as good, if not better, with everything that I'm be covering in it. But I love that you loved it or like it so far.
It's so good. I mean, it doesn't even matter like whether I like or don't like Cara Maria. Like I really enjoy watching her journey where I don't have to be like, oh, what did she win that? Like I'm just getting all about Cara Maria, and it's very enjoyable, and it's making me like her more.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, that's awesome.
I mean, but maybe
I
maybe I
mean,
will stop liking her part three when Polly's introduced into the scene, potentially. But as of right now, like I really like seeing her beginning journey and like her kind of her story arc so far. So I'm loving it. You guys, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. It is worth it. Me, someone that's seen pretty much every episode of every MTV show, I felt I learned something. So it's been awesome. So thank you for all your effort and hard work, and I appreciate it. So just wanted to give you some accolades there.
thank you.
Ding, you're welcome. So we have some friends joining us today. Tokyo Traveler. We know the All Stars cast is happening, but we're not talking about it today. We should get together and talk about this soon. High Lovable Nikki. And Carly is red. I'm dying to hear Drew Chantele's opinions on the the rumored cast. People just want to know about the cast. When do we want to talk about the cast, Drew? If you want to talk about it with me, or you probably already talked about it on your channel, but
I talked about it on a Patreon exclusive live last Saturday, but I filmed a video for it, and I'm gonna be posting that coming out next week with all the background info and my own personal reaction and thoughts. But I'm always down to talk about it with you, and if we can rope Chris into it too, if that's possible. But yeah, I'm always down to talk about.
You know what? We should rope Chris into it
thoughts.
And do a freaking draft, another like early draft.
We all know who he would pick number one. If you know the cast list, you know who he's good. He would pick number one overall.
I can't remember the cast list right now, but I'm sure that you're correct.
I think you were just talking about his number one pick.
Oh, no, he's on it.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing him. No,
Cara. I'm talking.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh my god, we know he's picking Cara. Like we'll even let him pick Cara. Be like, here, you can have Cara Maria. I mean, she probably will do. I want to see how she does. I want to see how she plays. So that will be kind of fun. So yeah, we'll get together maybe in the next week or so, week and a half, and we'll do something. We'll rope Chris into it and let him have Cara Maria. Hi, Dolores. Hi, Thana. Joanne is here. Hello, Willie. Lauren. Lena, where can I find the All Stars 4 list? Everywhere. Where can you not find it?
Yeah.
Definitely if you go on Twitter, Gamer Vev has it up for sure. But it's everywhere. Like I'm trying to hide it. I'm muting accounts so I don't get spoiled soon. Do you know when they leave though? That's one question I do want to know.
They actually departed last Friday, January Friday the 13th was they
Okay.
were supposed to depart around the 13th, the 14th, but I feel like they're still like in the quarantine area / still getting settled in. So that's all I know for right now.
Okay. Well, so then it's good that I have all these things muted because that spoilers and boot lists are going to start
It's
coming out. So
it's coming. It's coming.
I hate it so much because I'm just like, that's why we really should do a cast, like a draft. I mean, seemingly you probably want to do a draft because you do very well with drafts that we have no idea who's in the real cast or not way before they go to record or whatever. So
We should do a draft early, but also live, because I think that would
yeah,
be
yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting.
Live for sure. Live for sure.
Yeah.
Live for sure. Chris is here. So many friends. Envy. Hello, hello. Well, what did you think about this episode, Chris? Oh my God, Chris. Now I have Chris on the brain. Drew. I know who you are.
I thought it was good. I liked having all the competitions. I liked seeing a lot of things happening all at once. I didn't think there was going to be a whole lot because we're getting so close to the end. I was worried about what the content for the house drama was going to be. I felt like if Jordan was going to win back into the game, that majority of the house drama could be more of Tori and him fighting, which I did not want to even deal with. But we had so much competitions that it just did not matter what was going on in the house, which I was cool with. But overall, it was fine. We're getting to the point that it's getting so far into the game that's becoming predictable. So I'm kind of just wanting to get to the finals at this point. Like, I'm just like, can we get there,
You thought
please?
that this episode was predictable.
I found it predictable once the first elimination win happens, and then we get to the daily challenge. It felt painfully obvious of who was going to win, and then what was going to happen, regardless of who was volunteering to go into elimination. In my opinion.
Well, I personally thought that it was I a more exciting episode. Maybe I was saying it was on an upward trajectory from where it had been. I didn't particularly enjoy the team twist section of the season, the middle section. I'm just kind of like, I don't think we needed it. I think that if they just had a few more teams in the beginning, less alternates and more just teams in the beginning, and just played this theme right to the end, I think we would have had a really dynamic season. Also, if they didn't have like Bananas coming late and Anissa and Jordan come, like I don't think they needed to have those teams come in late. Like, just make them come in at the same time. I don't know why they did it like that, or not have them and have the alternates come in on time. I think that would have been a really successful season, because for me, I really realized that I lost interest in the season when the team twist happened, and I found myself really reinvested in the season as soon as this team twist, then they're back into their ride or die duo. So what does that mean, MTV? It means we don't like when you do the twist. Let's just keep the damn theme. Please.
Yeah, I think Banana said it perfectly. He said that it felt like waking up from a bad dream with the whole team twist going on, and now we're back in pairs. And I was like, that's a perfect way to describe it, because it did feel like a painful nightmare. It's just a nightmare where nothing really happened. Honestly, Nelson and Maurice were eliminated fully, and then Casey and Kenny get eliminated, and that's all that transpired from week 8, episode 8 to now. Which was ridiculous.
Right? Oh my gosh. Like, when you say it like that, that really, really makes me cringe. It's really the middle third of the whole season that we didn't need or didn't enjoy. So anyways, hopefully they learned something. I know they like trying things to keep things fresh, but I hope that they learned that this isn't the way to go to make a twist. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. We liked the duos. We liked the ride or die theme. Just stick with what was working, please, next time. That'd be helpful. I have to say, I was on the edge of my seat for the not so fast elimination. It looked like, obviously, that they're focusing a lot of Jordan and Anissa, and I was like, okay, are they doing this because like they're actually gonna lose and Casey and Kenny are gonna win? But like, I thought it was pretty intense back and forth, from the way that they edited it, but I'm sure that like Casey and Kenny had no chance in winning. But I was slightly surprised by Jordan and Anissa winning. Just for we talked about it a little bit about Anissa not being that athletic, her losing to Bailey in a similar type elimination, and that Casey and Kenny are limber and nimble and might be able to like loop through the contraptions a little more easily. So I enjoyed the elimination. How about you?
It came out to where I thought it was going to be, which was the experience and strategy
Yeah.
of Jordan and Anissa, mainly Jordan taking the leadership role of this, um, being able to shine through because Casey and Kenny were able to kind of like move around a little bit more. It just seemed like they were a little bit more flustered, a little bit more lost in the strategy a bit to the point where when they had to swap, I looked at their cube and was thinking, that's so loose. That's such a loose kind of rope, and it's
Mm,
just hanging there. Like it's not taut at all. And I was thinking that if Jordan and Anissa could just stay consistent at their pace, because I thought that they did a really great job with the knot. I was just thinking that, oh, this is gonna be quick work. Like Jordan and Anissa, if they can keep on a consistent pace, they'll be able to get this done. And they were able to. And it seemed like you were saying it was close at the beginning, but then as it was like going more and more, it was just like a blowout, in my opinion. And I think Anissa and Tori said on the Challenge Official podcast that they now hold the record for the quickest not so fast win in challenge history. Um,
yeah,
Granted, it's a
it
very
was a
small
different,
cube.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
size.
I mean, take that with a grain of salt, but they do hold the record apparently.
So, just to put on my tinfoil hat here, do you think that the producers made it a smaller cube in order to give Jordan and Anissa a better chance to win?
That's interesting. I thought about that. I also think that they needed something easily to maneuver into the zone after having to take out the ramps with the cylinders.
Oh, true.
Um,
That's a quick change.
so they had to do a quick change, and I think that they just wanted something that they could just like throw in there, and then something that both teams could do somewhat easily or maneuver around a little bit more easily. But I mean, if they had the jungle gym like from Battle of the X's 2 or Invasion of the Champions, I mean, it's game over. I mean, I think Casey and Kenny are able to get up on the top of it way easier. I mean, Anissa was kind of struggling with just getting up on the cube and putting her foot in certain areas, and it's like, oh my gosh, come, like, get it
Please
together,
just be a
please.
little bit athletic, right?
That was so great. That was just such a passive aggressive tone.
Now, I don't know if I'm just a mean girl or if I don't like recognize really what's going on to Amber or because I it's not bothering me that much. I didn't notice Anissa saying anything about Amber, but a lot of people saying Anissa and Devin both said things about Amber this episode. So Dolores says, "Okay, let's get this party started. I am over Anissa and her mean girl attitude." Can you re-enlighten me or just remind me as to what might have happened because the Twitter has been blowing up with defending Amber, and I just don't even remember what was said.
So it was when they were in the interrogation and Amber and Chauncey were in there first, and they said, "We want to go in. Just send us in. You can send us in. We want to volunteer to go into elimination." And then afterwards, once they left, Devin and Tori came in, and that's when Bananas let it be known that, oh, well, it's easy. Amber kind of wanted to go in, and so that's when Devin like goes on this huge tirade of, oh, well, that's just trying to make it easier on you. She wants to be a hero. She's trying to be a this is for publicity or something like that, and try to look good and get on your good side. And she's trying to play chess, but she's a bad chess player. Like he just went way into it, like way too in depth. And I was like, that seems weird, but okay, let it out, Devin. Do whatever you think is gonna help you sleep better at night. And then Anissa came in, here's the same thing, and then she's like, what a rookie mistake, that's so dumb, and goes on and on about like how and this also plays into Anissa's past comments with like when Amber couldn't decide which dagger to pull, and then she's like, oh, all this stuff, and the best award for the Oscar goes to Amber, and she's just been very critical of Amber this whole season, and she just had more to say on Amber making that decision and calling it shady. And apparently the T accounts have mentioned that a lot of the cast was saying that Amber pulls a shady move in this game, and it all boiled down to her wanting to go into elimination and
That's the
volunteer
shady
herself.
move?
Apparently, people throughout the whole time. People were saying, "Oh, she makes a shady move." I think Devin said it on the Bananas podcast at
Yeah.
one point. Like, she makes a shady move. You'll see later down the line. I think Anissa also says it. Like later in the game, she's gonna try to pull something on us, and then it's
This?
apparently she doesn't do anything but want to volunteer herself. So I don't know if that's the move they were talking about. Maybe they didn't show the move. Like they haven't shown anything for 3 seasons on Amber to make her look shady at all. But it just, I don't know. That's what I've been hearing all
Okay.
on
I
Twitter and
mean,
stuff.
I do remember these two incidents. Both of them didn't bother me, for the fact that I'm assuming that, they had talked for hours and hours and hours, and the producers and editors are
Mhm.
clipping what they want to use. And so, yeah, like it's me kind of defending both of them. They did say it, yes, but like I'm sure that they said a lot of other things that could have been also used that wouldn't make them look like they were hating on Amber for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Also, I do think it's a little bit of a rookie mistake to want to throw yourself in there. I know that she was assuming like, hey, if I don't go in there as a vote, like I'm going to be going in there most likely as unless I pull the safe dagger. And true, but like also it's also true that people that throw themselves in a lot of the times do end up going home. So I think that both Jordan and Anissa were kind of correct in just kind of calling that out, that like, hey, like I know you want to know who you're going down against to like stay ready, but just like why don't you chance it and maybe hope that you get the safe dagger? And you still got like
Mhm.
what, like 33% to get the safe dagger, if that's the case. I mean, if it's because she didn't want to be thrown in there without like, and she wants to take a little bit of ownership and agency back and being like, I put myself in there, like they didn't put me in there, maybe that's different. But I don't know, I just don't think that you really should ever throw yourself in there like that when it's not a guaranteed win, so close to the final, so close, like it's just so risky.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to the Challenge Official podcast, and Amber talked about how she didn't even want to be on the season initially. She wanted to take a season off, but because of the theme, and then
Right.
when presenting it to Chauncey as a possibility of him being on the show, and he was
Mm-hmm.
just so excited that she decided that she was going to be on the show as well and do this season. And when they were kind of going through the show, she went through a family loss. Then she was feeling guilty because she was like on the show, not being there for her family. And then she just felt alone throughout the show. So I think it came down to a point where she was, I mean, it's a long shoot. She's feeling guilty. She's not really, I think, mentally in it as much as she could be, like in her previous 2 seasons, as well as I think Chauncey was kind of getting eaten up by being the only person that kind of backed out of the last team daily, which when you go
Mhm.
down, when it comes down to it, boils down to it, I mean, just roll the dice, just say, I don't really want to be the main vote, but if you do, then just let me know and we'll go in and I'll be ready to go. But I mean, I understand where they're coming from, and I still think they gave it 110% each person. I'm not a huge fan of that elimination in particular, but um, I can't. It's their decision, and I can't get on them too much because it's a 50-50 shot. Granted, like you said, just take your shot at the
The
dagger
dagger
pool,
pull.
and maybe you get lucky
Like
like Olivia no
everybody
Racional.
hates you anyways, right? Like be like if they're not gonna throw them in, like if they had another idea that they were planning on doing and they were gonna end up being in the safe draw or in the draw for the safe dagger, like I don't know. I kind of wouldn't let people have it the easy way, right? Like if you're gonna say my name. All right. Like,
Mhm,
so I have that. So I know that that's how you feel about me. Things are clear now that I was the person that you wanted to throw in the most. So I think that she also let them off easy, right?
mhm.
Like, Nani's supposed to be one of her closest friends in the game. Like, she would be able to tell now that, hey, Nani didn't care for you that much if she was able to throw you into the zone or whatever. So I even in Big Brother, if I was playing Big Brother, I would never be like, okay, I understand. Like, you could put me up on the block. Like, I would never do that. I'd be like, I want you to say my name. if you're going to say my name. You know what I mean? I would never want to let people have it too easy, because then it's easy for, like, I don't know, they just get away with something that should be more difficult for them. And like, I want to see them show their cards. So
Yeah, I
that's
can see
why it
that.
bothered me. Personally, it's like, don't make them let them off easy, make them sweat. Make them, like, the whole season they have been avoiding winning because they don't want to have to make this decision of who to put into the zone and who to, like, the 4 people to nominate. And so, like, the one time since episode 2 that they have power, you like didn't even allow them to have to like show their cards. So I'm like, yeah, let them having it too easy, in my opinion. Did you learn
True.
anything else on the official podcast? I didn't listen to that one, but she was also on Bananas' podcast. I listened to the first half of that.
Yeah, I gotta finish the Bananas podcast with her because I heard that it's actually really, really good. This one was all right. The one thing that really got kind of like, I kind of got a little, not angry, but like annoyed, is when Amber talked about how clicky the game felt and that she would like go into a room, try to hang out with people, and they would kind of like not be as welcoming. And she felt alone. She didn't like, she likes to talk to Chauncey, but she doesn't want to be talking to Chauncey all the time and only Chauncey. So she just felt alone in the game. And then Anissa tried to pull the thing of like, oh, well, if you really felt alone, you could have came over and hung out with us, and we would have totally welcomed you, and you could have hung out with us all day and got ready with us. And I like that Amber was like, I tried that. Like, I tried it and it didn't work out. And Tori kind of like, I don't know, didn't push back on it. She kind of agreed that maybe the vibe was off or the energy was off. But I just was like, come on, Anissa, you really gonna try to pull this? Like, you're being the most critical in every confessional. Like, she gets late confessionals in the last 2 episodes or the last few episodes just commenting about what Amber is doing and not what Anissa should be doing or gameplay or anything. So I don't know. I was kind of like, I had to roll my eyes at that one.
Okay, so is it jealousy? Is that what's going on with Amber, or is it something else? Or like, what do you actually think it is? A lot of people think it's jealousy. Even Amanda, I think, commented this week saying like, how does it feel to have people saying your name? Like, the jealousy is real. Yeah, what do you think?
I think that's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, we've seen 3 seasons, and yet so many people have this narrative or is trying to spin this narrative of Amber as being shady, as somebody that is fake, that they can't trust, that can never be trusted. And then we've watched how many episodes of her in her 3 seasons. She goes far in like every single season she's been in, and we don't have any proof of her being shady or fake. And it just makes it feel like because she won her rookie season, she hasn't had to do like 6 seasons and lose right before the finals and then get second place or third place in a finals and have this big long stretch of like having to really toil and fuss around, that she won a rookie season and she's really, really strong, really, really pretty and sociable and likable and nice. I also think the nice, friendly thing about her is like, people don't like it. They feel like they can take advantage of her, maybe even like say stuff about her and not worry about repercussions because she is so very nice, and she still will see or try to see the nice in people and the good in people. So I feel like people are taking advantage of it and kind of pushing that line of like, how much will she tolerate? We can just rag on her every single point. We can talk about her bad. And she won't do anything about it. She won't like hold a grudge or anything, which is like so disgusting in my opinion. But that's what I see, or that's how I feel when I'm watching this.
I mean, I guess there must be also like something that we don't see, that like, she just maybe like, maybe it's jealousy, part of it's jealousy, but I think that she does need to be on a season with a vet, or with like, so somebody here is suggesting a vendetta season, or rivals or something like that, where she has to be paired with someone that she doesn't get along with or that she has beef with, so that maybe she can get like, break that barrier. We saw like on a lot of those seasons, like Cara, Maria, and Laurel, they were able to overcome whatever animosity they had with each other when they had to work together. Same with Emily and, was it Paula? Was it Evelyn and
Yes.
Paula? And Paula and Evelyn, like just all these duos that had to work. But Wes and who did Wes have to do? CT, right?
Kenny and CT, yeah.
Okay, whatever. All these pairs, though, they were able to like work together, and I think it helped them in their growth as a player on these seasons. And it seemed like after those seasons, most of them became more likable, right? Like, so maybe she just needs that. Maybe she was kind of on an island with Darrell. Darrell is not that well integrated socially. Like everybody loves Darrell, yes, but he's not really integrated into the politics and the dynamics of the seasons. And so maybe having her first season for the most part be with him and then come and win it, it's just kind of, it doesn't seem like she was part of like the family, like the team of the challenge when she won, and then she's trying to now fit back in or something like that. So I'm hoping for a Rivals or a Vendetta season for Amber so that potentially she can work with somebody and then kind of get re-immersed into the culture of the show and make some friends, because I don't understand how she's not making any friends in the game. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they end the interview, the Challenge Official podcast, because I haven't heard what Bananas is doing, but I heard the Bananas one is really good, and he was very respectful of her and let her speak. Something that he didn't do for a couple of people that I listened to selected episodes for. But they did end the interview with Tori at least saying that the next season that they do, that she wants to be more welcoming to Amber and trying to be a better friend to Amber. So that's them maybe doing lip service. We're going to have to wait and see what the actions will look like the next time that they are on a season together, to see if that's actually for real or not, or if they're just trying to put on for because of how the outpouring of love on social media for Amber is, that they don't want to get they don't want to get some more Amber stands in their DMs and get a whole bunch of avalanche of hate themselves that they are dishing out, that it could be a karma thing, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, we will. I do think though that Amber said that she wasn't going to be coming back another season unless Chauncey was coming with her. Is that true? And what you've heard?
I heard something similar, but I don't know. See, she in the Challenge Official podcast, she talked about she wanted Chauncey on the next season that she would do, and she said that she definitely didn't really want to do the Challenge 39. But I think it all comes down to the timing of everything. What's the timing look like? How far in between each season? What does her availability look like? What's her mental state looking like? Like, does she feel healthy both physically and mentally to do it? And if she does, I think she would do it. But I think it all comes down to the timing and where everybody is at in that time of life, because they're going to have 9 or 8 challenge spin-offs and regular seasons and stuff this upcoming year. So who knows when the next Challenge 39 season will be after UK,
A long
Argentina, All
time from now,
Stars,
please.
and
I love you, the challenge. I love the
USA 2.
challenge. I might get overloaded because like how long do you think we're gonna get before All Stars 4? Like a month? Like like no, it'll be like 2 months, right?
For what?
All Stars 4.
It's gonna be quite something, because I mean, I heard that Challenge UK was supposed to be premiering this month,
Oh
and I've
shoot,
heard
yeah.
absolutely zero about it. Argentina is gonna be in March. Then the Global Championship is supposed to happen after that, and
Oh.
then they're gonna be doing the Challenge USA was greenlit, but they haven't gotten a cast for it yet. I'm sure that All Stars 4 will be after the Global Championships,
So
because
what,
that
like
actually has a
summer?
cast and filming. Oh man, I mean, if they
Okay,
space
no,
all this
that's
stuff out,
fine. Yeah, they could
and
stretch this out. It's fine.
if they're not gonna overlap with any of the seasons, I mean, they could wait until like a full year has passed for the Challenge 39, or even wait till the early part of next year, especially if they don't want to get hit with being on the same time as Survivor, which I think they
They have to
shouldn't.
stop do that.
They
But I
should
think
wait.
though that the challenge was there first. This was their time slot first. Because remember, Survivor was always a Thursday night show. And then it changed to Wednesdays at some point. And I was like, and I think that the challenge was always a Wednesday show.
The challenge, okay, so it's actually very interesting, because I went back when
Oh.
I did the why is nobody watching the Challenge 37 video that I put out like way long ago, and I was going through all the different episodes. and it changed from like 10 p.m. on a Tuesday to 9 p.m. on a Thursday to then being changed to 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, and then they just kept going Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. So
When the Wednesday happened, do you remember?
it was after Battle of the Seasons, because I know Battle of the Seasons was a really bad season for the ratings at the time that it was
It
coming out
was
because of all
bad
the rookies
though.
and everything. It was a really bad rating season, and I think they needed to shuffle it up to make it the next season. They needed to shuffle it up, and that's where we got Rivals 2, and then the ratings went way up because one is Rivals 2, and then they changed the dates around. So
Now, did you happen to notice when Survivor went from Thursdays to Wednesdays?
no.
Okay, let me if I can do a quick search. When did Survivor switch its time slot from Thursdays to Wednesdays? Because I feel like that was a significance in their ratings as well. You know what I mean? Because Survivor is so
Mhm.
huge, and like I always watch the challenge now over Survivor, especially in this new era. I'm preferring the challenge definitely over Survivor. But like MTV, you don't want to be competing against this. It's so I wonder if Survivor was trying to steal MTV's audience.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Survivor was always the top dog, in my opinion, because they were pulling in like multi-million numbers for quite a while, compared to the challenge, which was like 1.6, 1.4 in its heyday, I believe, and then it started slowly declining. Maureen. Gosh, why? What am I doing?
Maureen?
Survivor changed to Wednesdays in 2010. Sorry about your name and saying it 15 times
Okay,
wrong.
so 2010. So when's Battle of the Seasons was what, 2012? Shit.
Yeah,
Am I
Battle
is
of the
my
Seasons was
theories
2012.
completely wrong?
I think Survivor just like wanted a stake in Wednesday, and then the challenge made the wrong decision. But the challenge was different though in the way that it was on like twice a year when Survivor wasn't on twice a year. I don't know. I don't know the history of Survivor as of late. Like I know the challenge, but the challenge was also on random times of the year. Like they would be on April. One season would start in April, one season would start in December, then it would change to like summer and then go into February of the next year, and they would just pop up randomly throughout the different times of years. While I think Survivor was on a very more strict schedule of winter, summer kind of vibe, or fall, summer. Nobody puts out stuff on summer except Big Brother.
And Love Island. No.
Well, Love Island,
Um
yeah.
so I guess that my theory is completely off.
Okay. So
Of
Survivor
what
used to be on twice a year as well. Okay.
Well, yeah, because yeah,
Yeah.
we used to be Survivor is definitely like I would watch it in the fall and then watch it in the new year. So
Mhm.
maybe it never actually overlapped for a while. Like maybe the challenge was like starting when Survivor finished and like I didn't notice any overlap, but then since lockdown and times started changing and like maybe that's why, cuz like I don't remember noticing an overlap
Yeah. I
for
think
a
it's
for
definitely
until like more
recent.
recently. Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's definitely recent. I also think that the sheer length of the seasons nowadays with the challenge, it's like it's always going to overlap, even with itself. I mean, during the lockdown, it was All Stars and the regular season was overlapping at one point. I remember doing two
I
videos
hated
a
that
week, and
too.
that stunk. I was like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you overlap with yourself? You're not cannibalizing your own because it's on a streaming service, but like that's just you're cutting off a season where you could have extra content when one ends. I just didn't get that.
So Dolores watches Survivor first and then immediately go to the challenge that I record. It depends on what
I
time
can
I
see
go
that.
live after, but it's all about going live after. Like if I wasn't going live at all, like then I would probably watch Survivor first.
Hmm.
And then because the challenge is longer and then fast forward the commercials and catch up. So but it's the going live factor though. If I go live late, then I do watch Survivor first, and then I start this challenge after. So I agree. What do you think about the daily before we start talking about our power rankings for this week?
It's aesthetically there's something to see, but I view it more as a train wreck than actually
Bus wreck?
entertaining because I was so nervous for everybody in there. One for the sanitary reasons of everybody just yakking all over the place, but also, I mean, that bus, some people were getting thrashed. I felt like Amber almost got like a concussion at one point. With how she was getting slammed into those walls. Not my favorite. I understand where they're coming from. A+ on creativity, but health reasons, I was worried for everybody.
Do you think that they cleaned out the ball pit when after everybody's turn?
I actually think they had 2 buses, I
Oh,
wanna say, because somebody mentioned this in my comment section, but I didn't catch it on the couple of rewatches, is that the switch was on different sides of the ball pit. Or the where they put the balls in,
mm.
because Chauncey and Amber's was on the right, but Jordan and Anissa's was on the left. And I think that they had 2 different buses, one to fill up because you didn't know how many times they were gonna go around the circle, and then I think for sanitary purposes, they had to, clean the buses as
Wash down
well,
the
so
balls.
yeah, that was gross. I mean, and somebody did say it. I said the same thing while watching the Challenge Australia. I thought somebody got hurt and it was not fun to watch. I think somebody hurt their
No.
back during that one,
Ugh.
but it was rough.
Now, how do you feel about the lack of transparency with how the teams might have won?
It's what we've come to know about the challenge. I mean, you have Olivia and Horacio that I didn't see what their balls were, like the number of balls that they got right or wrong, like everybody else besides the bananas and Nani. So I felt like they got the same. They got 10 out of 10, but it was just the timing that they want to throw out there. Like, oh, Nani and bananas just did it so much faster. Also, I didn't get to check, and I'm very upset that I didn't get to check, but did anybody check Jordan and Anissa's answers with the answer key, because it said they only got 1 out of 10 correct. And if that is for sure like right, that they only got 1 out of 10, that is pitiful. That is so bad. So bad.
That's shocking. I remember seeing 1 out of 10 happen, but like was that at the end necessarily or maybe at that point? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I don't remember. I didn't go back to watch to see like when they cut to it and take a screenshot and like was it their balls? Like yeah, it was hard to really track to see what was correct, who got what. So did Horacio and Olivia not get all 10 correct? It obviously didn't go down to time because TJ was saying like an amazing job, outstanding job by Bananas and Nani for getting all 10 correct. And it's like, oh, I guess they're the only people that got all 10 correct. Um, I think I liked this challenge more than you did.
Mhm.
I didn't necessarily notice anybody hurting themselves. I was thinking in my head that maybe it wasn't like metal and that maybe it was like actually like more of a cushy surface. I don't know. Like it didn't seem like it was as painful as it probably was. And I thought them barfing was funny. And so it didn't really bother me, and I didn't find it that gross. I don't know.
Oh man.
Okay. And I guess lastly to talk about actually no, we can talk about this when we get to our power rankings. Do we have any new tiers that you want to bring into the mix?
Oh man. What was happening this oh man.
Yakety yak. um yeah, I was just barfing in a bus. There was
I mean,
um
there was no real like standout quotes because we were all Anissa's cooch. um,
I mean, is that built for comfort?
Sergio, I just looked up and Sergio commented it, so I was just like,
I mean, that might need to go somewhere. um, are we saying yes to Anissa's cooch?
I mean, where could we put it?
For, I guess forgotten not and not gone is gone. Huh?
Yeah, that's gone. Just oh my cooch.
Is that Blunder Dog?
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, we don't even need that anymore because there's no more underdog or blunder dog reference. Barf bus is a good one. Not your best week. I love that. I love puns.
How's that a pun? Hold on. Not your best week.
Not your best week because of the not so fast.
Oh, it's a not spelled like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love Nerys. Don't worry.
4 weeks.
I mean, I love all these suggestions. I just don't know where to go. So, am I removing Blunder Dog?
We should probably get something new for Blunder Dog at least.
What would Anissa's cooch stand for? Is that better than someone stealing your toys?
I mean, she didn't.
She won.
I mean, she said it out of it being hurt. Like the bar was, she was sitting on a bar and she said that it was hurting her in that region. So I don't know if it's good.
Well, but maybe it's persevering through pain.
I mean, if you want to put it there, be my guest. If that's what we're gonna be, that's how we're classifying it. Be my guest.
Okay. Unless somebody objects, this is where she'll be right now. Anything else that we want to change?
I don't know. I like everything so far.
All right.
Bar to the cooch.
Ooh, bus barfing. But what does that mean, though? Is bus barfing the new stirring the pot?
I almost think it should be a bad thing because they're getting sick. I almost think like miss the target almost would be
Oh,
more
sure,
apt,
yeah. Let's do bus
would
barf.
be more apt to,
yeah,
because you're just like sick. You're calling it quits basically because Tori like was vomiting and then just like threw the switch when Devin was like, I want to check, and she just was like, I gotta stop this thing. So
oh wait, so what was our, did I remove the name of what we called people that were gone for good?
I mean, we could just call we could just do the bus one.
Bus barf is just people gone? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Like they had to flip the switch and they had to get off.
Yeah,
because they weren't doing well.
Yeah, they're done.
Their game was sickly and they had to go.
Done. All right. Throwing up your game. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, barf bus. Throwing up your game. It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, who do you want to start with here, sir? Are these two people still built for comfort, or they both do get moved? So maybe we'll start with them.
Well, definitely Kenny needs to go lower, right? That's Kenny, right?
It is.
Kenny needs to go down to being in the barf bus.
Yeah, barf bus it is.
I mean, honestly, it's very impressive that he made it this far and lost 3 eliminations this season, according to his challenge fandom page. So pretty sad.
It's pretty sad for sure. One thing though that I do like about Kenny, that he seems pretty positive still. When you see him at the reunion and like hanging out with people, like I think enjoyed his experience, and I think he recognizes and realizes like he wasn't great at the challenge, but I think he respects the show and respects the game, and I like Kenny. I just wish he was a better competitor and more entertaining.
Yeah. I also like the idea that he sat in a hotel room for 16 days just to come out for like a night of just losing 2 eliminations and then having to turn around and walk right back into the same hotel room, basically, before getting on an airplane to go back home.
Yeah, Kenny. But I mean, he lasts a long time, so we got a full experience. We just never saw any of it.
Yeah, definitely. And then we could put
And
his
mhm,
partner right next to him.
yeah, you want to do that? Okay, let's go, Casey. I think Casey would be maybe ahead of the bar on the barf bus. I do
Yeah,
think
she's
that
the
if
driver.
I think if she had a different partner, she could have done better this season. But unfortunately, she was with her brother, and her brother isn't athletic at all. So she was not able to win at all or even get to a final with her brother. Unfortunately, her record goes down a lot in one episode because of her brother. I think she was 3-0 for eliminations. Now she's 3-2. Is that what I heard?
Yes, and I mean, this is her first time in reality TV history of being
Being
eliminated from a
eliminated
game
before the end.
before the end. I mean, making it to every single final in your challenge career, making it to the final 2 seats of your Big Brother game,
Debut.
which is like 99 freaking days. So congrats to Casey for always making it to the end and now
Coming up
getting your
short.
first defeat. Yeah.
Well, and I wonder if that might make her be a more entertaining player because now she realizes she might recognizes that it's not a given that she's going to make it to the end. She's now
Mhm.
experiencing what it's like for other people that really probably appreciate being there and like try their best to do anything to stay in the game. She's had it so easy and so cushy all of her appearances that I don't think she's necessarily learned what it's like to go at home before the final. Well, she hasn't. So I'm wondering if this will give her a little bit more fire and make her a little bit more of an impassioned player.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Could be.
We can dream, right? Let's hope.
Maybe.
Let's hope. Or like, do we hope that like her and Nani break up and then they come back on for an exit season? Like, that'd be fun. That'd be
I
fun.
don't think they're ever gonna break up.
Me neither. Me neither.
I
But
have I have no yeah.
well, let's talk about Build for Comfort herself. I do think that she kind of moves up out of this position this episode. I know some people are not really that impressed by things that she was saying about Amber and feels as though, she's all talk but no real action. But she did win 2 eliminations in this episode, and she also tied a record, I would think. Was it 13 elimination wins? I can't remember. I think there's one other person that has that same, unless she just beat someone. I can't remember. Someone in the chat will tell me, or you.
I have no idea right off the top of my head. I should, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, no matter what, she was able to complete Not So Fast, even though she didn't think that she could. Jordan and his chanting and his don't say you can't because you can, and his passive aggressive comments and really kind of speaking to her poorly worked for her. It worked for Anissa, and Anissa was able to get it done with Jordan, and she was able to win that first elimination, keeping her and Jordan in the game. Then in the second elimination that she went into the zone, she also was able to defeat Amber. Now, I do think that it was unfairly matched. Size wise, Amber is probably 50 pounds, maybe more lighter than Anissa. And yes, Amber's in really great shape. She's quite athletic and, she's very strong. You sometimes can't beat weight in that capacity. She just was too light. So she did still win. A win's a win sometimes. I don't think she played dirty in any sort of way with her winning against Amber. And so I got to give her a little bit of props for at least being able to buckle down and beat her. So she's moving up. But where does she go? Is Anissa queen for the day? Fight me on it.
I was gonna suggest both Jordan and Anissa being queen since they did win 2 eliminations, and I don't think that's been done in the challenge, or very rarely have we seen that. But yeah, Willie brings this up, but I checked it out anyways too. That Cara Maria has 13 elimination wins, and then Anissa now has tied her with 13. Wes, I think, holds the record for most elimination wins with 14 on the main series. So I mean, it's close. It's getting close, but yeah, Uh, yes, Ryan. Even though they got 1 out of 10 in the daily, you can't take away that they won 2 eliminations. Granted, one elimination was, I think, very much skewed for her, that she could just like kind of crawl like a sea turtle and keep Amber away from her blocks. I think that it's still very impressive to get the win. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. Yay! I thought you were gonna fight me on it. Moving her out of her comfort spot into the queen position. Um, but like nobody else did that and won 2 eliminations on in the same episode. Like it hasn't happened yet this season. So that's pretty impressive no matter what. The more times you go down, the more times you have a chance to lose. And they had to do it twice and they won twice. So I think that's impressive. I think that she deserves to get a little bit of flowers here for her performance. Regardless of how she's performed in the past, she still comes down and wins sometimes. And that's just facts. So Casey, who's more athletically strong than she is, lost. So just saying. So you're putting Jordan up there beside her, huh? All right, probably in front of her, would you say?
Yes, I would. I mean, he was the reason that she was able to overcome her own self-doubt and insecurities during the elimination. And then, I mean, it Jordan was the more impressive in the second elimination of Rumble Tumble, in my opinion, taking on the bigger, bulkier Chauncey and being able to use strategy in a game that I was very, I don't know, skeptical of if strategy was able to be even enforced, because in Gauntlet 2, in a reverse tug of war, 9 out of 10 times, the bigger person will just win
Mm-hmm.
outright. I mean, we saw that with Timmy versus Derek, who won like 4 eliminations on that season, but come to a reverse tug of war, and Timmy was able to absolutely dominate Derek. You had Beth winning against Ruthie, who we all could understand is a lot more athletic than Beth. But when it comes to a reverse tug of war, it comes to strength. Yeah, well, just how heavy somebody else is. But Jordan showed that he was able to be that 1 out of 10 option to win and use strategy in this type of elimination. So I thought that this was a really, really strong showing from him. And I mean, just Jordan in general, over the past 2 episodes, going into 4 elimination games in 2 episodes and winning 2 of them, to stay in the game, win back into the game. Very, very impressive.
Do you have a commercial out about Jordan? I haven't seen this yet.
Yes, I have it in my tiny table talk.
Oh,
It's
okay.
his Jordan's aggressive motivational series, where he yells at you to help you be the person that you want to be.
Okay, I'm in. I will watch soon for sure. So MV. Oh, just kidding. She wanted down. Somebody wanted to downgrade Anissa. Where's that? To stirring the pot because Jordan carried them. Her.
I
What do you
mean,
think?
true. I mean, on an individual basis, I can see where everybody is coming from. Now, if these pictures were conjoined, we were going to have to put them together. So it's up to you. I'm cool with dropping her down, since I felt like Jordan was a really strong component of their team that did majority of the work. I'll be honest, out of all the teams that are left, I am worried about Jordan and Anissa the most, because we are so close to the finals and they have just not looked that impressive outside of the context of eliminations. In eliminations, they seem dominant. They seem like a really strong pairing that can hold their own and work together well. But outside, uh, they are a hot mess. This daily challenge did not need stamina. It did not need to use much of any real physical attributes like running uphill or anything, and they still came in dead last, with 1 out of 10, which is alarming when they could just stand next to a window and then plop balls into a tower, yet they still got 1 out of 10. So
Well, how did Jordan
that's
get
great.
that bad though? You know what I mean? Like he should have been able to do it all by himself,
Yeah.
like to get more than one. So that's also, I don't know. It's all a bit weird in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why I wanted to like go back and check to make sure they legit got 1 out of 10, or if it was like an editing error. I feel like even if you guessed, you could get more than 1 out of 10. I don't know how many different variances of the ball combinations there are, but yeah, it's just weird.
I think maybe we just leave Anissa here because we know that she's going to fall from grace shortly. Like, this is going to be the only chance that she's going to be at this spot. I think. I just
Oh
don't
yeah,
imagine
definitely.
her.
I mean, once you're built for comfort, you somehow find yourself back to being built for comfort.
It's what she's made for. Who would you like to talk about next?
um, I guess we can talk. Are we doing individuals or are we going to do pairings?
Well, we've been starting with one and then doing their partner. So,
Let's talk about since we talked about Anissa, we
oh,
could
I
talk
guess
about
because you were
Amber.
saying because we're back in pairs.
Yeah, we're back in pairs now
So
that
yeah,
we're
let's talk about a duo then. Yeah.
we could talk about Amber and Chauncey since they're really easy to talk about now because they're eliminated.
Hmm.
Um I think we both agree that we wish they came out a lot stronger and a lot feistier. I think when taking a look at our draft picks, of course, we were thinking that I think we both were thinking that Amber and Chauncey, at the look of how physical they were from their pictures, that they were just going to be a force to be reckoned with. We knew what
Hmm.
Amber was capable of, bringing in a person that she loves, that she uh, trusts 100%, and he looks like Michael B. Jordan on steroids. I mean, come on now. We thought they were going to absolutely win a whole bunch of dailies at this point, and they weren't able to win one daily paired up together. Of course, Chauncey and Amber were winning while in teams, but they did a great job winning an elimination. They did a great job making it this far into the game. I think episode 15 out of a 22 episode season is really, really incredible. I'm going to miss them. I love that their relationship was put on TV. I think I said it in Tiny Table Talk. I think it's the most wholesome challenge relationship we've ever seen on the show. And I love that they were just always there for each other, even if I was like, not a huge fan of running while holding hands, they never questioned each other. And I love that about them. And they're always going to ride for each other. And I will always root for them individually and together. So I really love them both. And it's sad to see them go, but I'm happy they made it this far and was on the season.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I drafted them, so I was hoping that they were going to do quite well. I was hoping that with the makeup of people this season, that we would see her having the support of her boyfriend, and that maybe she wouldn't be the target, and would be able to gather some of these rookie numbers, and then maybe be working with like with all the outsiders, and maybe some people are a little more strategic than she is, and so I really did have some high hopes for them getting to at least to the final. I agree with you. Getting to episode 15 is a great feat. Like, especially since she even says herself she doesn't have that many friends on the show. I just wish that she would do. I have higher hopes for her than she does for herself, and now I just don't know if I can be justified in drafting her ever again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that she's
Mhm.
able to do it a second time around. And I definitely don't hate Amber like everybody else does. I do find her sometimes can be a little bit a little bit annoying, but I think that she is good for the show. I think that she brings something to the show, and I know if she comes back another season, I will not be upset. I'd rather her on another season way more than Anissa or like maybe even Nani at this point, at Casey. Like, I'd rather see Amber there. So um yeah, I pretty much agree with the things that you're saying. I would like to see them back. I think they had a good run. And I want to see if she can do it again, but I'm probably not going to draft her.
And I'll be something that I was actually really impressed with now that I'm thinking about it is that they've only saw 2 eliminations this season. I mean, knowing how Amber, her reputation with the other contestants, and then being paired up with a rookie, I mean, we could have seen her and Chauncey in multiple eliminations, especially when they were on separate teams with each other, away from each other. and they really only saw 2 eliminations, which I'm very impressed with because she was a target, way more of a target last season, and then this season, I mean, they could have easily been sent in way more, but
Mhm.
they didn't.
So Dabu's asking if we saw Zach mocking Chauncey and Amber. I've not heard of this or seen this. Have you?
I think I saw a tweet from Zach mentioning how Anissa was walking Amber around the elimination ring. I think I don't know if that's what everybody else is talking about, but that's I remember seeing something. I don't remember the wording or anything, but it didn't sound it sounded way more in favor with Anissa and kind of talking smack with Amber and Chauncey. I think he even spelled Chauncey's name wrong, if I remember.
Of course he did.
So yeah.
Of course he did. So how did you feel about where I placed Amber and Chauncey in this lineup?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I mean, because I do feel that Casey was in a better position if she had a better partner. I think that she could have stayed in the game a little bit longer. So I think she's kind of top out of the people that are most recently gone from the game. Amber, I think that she did pretty well. Like she won a couple of eliminations. She's a strong player. I think she's a stronger player, obviously, than Nerys, because Nerys obviously left a couple episodes before she did, and she beat Nerys in that one. And then I think that Nelson is a little bit more successful than Chauncey here. So Chauncey a little bit ahead of Kenny is my thought process here. All right, let's talk about. We didn't hear much from them unless I'm forgetting something, but let's do Horacio and Olivia. I don't even know where to put them. Are they Chauncey's cooch? I mean, sorry, Anissa's cooch, for the fact that like they were thrown around that bus and then they didn't really get that W.
Is it bad that I don't want to put anybody in Anissa's cooch after because I don't know. I feel like maybe we should have made a one that's called Young Dagger instead instead of Anissa's cooch.
Wasn't Young Dagger from last week though?
Yeah, but we didn't mention it. So I mean, I just thought of it today because they did pull the safe dagger. They were able to keep themselves safe. I almost want to, you know what I actually do want? I want to say what I think because they got what I think is second place in the daily, getting 10 out of 10, but not as quick as Bananas and Nani. I want to see the timer, as well as kind of throwing off Jordan a bit because when they did pull the safe dagger, I think Jordan and Anissa felt like they were going to be called safe because of how close Horacio and Jordan are. But then they swapped it and said, we're going to save Tori and Devin because of the past voting history with Anissa and how they sent them down into the draw. So I would almost feel like they could be in the stirring the pot era of just kind of throwing people off their game a little bit.
Okay. I can get behind this. Is this going to be Horacio's villain era, like stirring the pot now? I can see that, for the fact that he did something that people weren't expecting. He kind of went against the grain there. They did throw him in at some point. I can't remember right now the details of that because it was like 3 months ago. But yeah, I was expecting him to oh, of course you're going to save Jordan and Anissa, and he didn't. He saved Devin and Tori, which definitely is very shocking. So I'll give it to you with stirring the pot there, sir.
Yeah, I almost think, I don't know. Now my thought process is that why send in Jordan and Anissa when they don't really pose a big threat in the game,
right?
In my opinion. I mean, Devin and Tori haven't won a daily, and Jordan and Anissa have, but their recent track record is not good. They're not doing that well. They don't really work as well together as Tori and Devin. So if I was in their position, I may have sent in Tori and Devin over Jordan and Anissa, especially after they just did three eliminate. Well, Jordan did 3 eliminations and they just did 2 to win back into the game. I would have almost wanted to test Tori and Devin late in the game, see what could happen between Amber and Chauncey versus Tori and Devin. But that's just my opinion looking back on it.
Now, Sergio thinks that Amber and Chauncey would have won against Tori and Devin. Do you think that Tori would have lost to Amber?
I think it would have been closer, but I think it would have been closer. I think there is a possibility of Tori being able to pull out a win. I think Chauncey wins against Devin 10 out of 10 times easily. This could have came down to a tiebreaker where TJ is going to flip a coin and see who plays in the tiebreaker between men and women, and then that could have really proven which team would have won. Say if the men had to go a second time, and I think Amber and Chauncey would have won. On the other hand, I think it could have been way closer, but I think there's a better shot of Amber pulling out a win against Tori, given their body types, than what we saw between her and Issa.
I do think though that Tori has more mass on Amber though.
Oh yeah. Agreed.
And Amber might be a little bit scrappy, but Tori kind of trains like more like I'm like boxing and wrestling and stuff like that. So she might be a little bit better strategically than Amber is in that type of elimination. You know, we saw her flipping around with Jordan in the beginning or earlier on this season. So I see that she's not a stranger to going to kind of digging deep in that way. So I kind of put my money on Tori in for that for sure. But I agree. I think that Devin would lose against Chauncey. So it would all come down to the coin flip.
That would have been interesting.
It would have. Well, let's give the people what they want. Devin and Tori, where should they go? I think suffocating in cake. For the fact that they got saved by Horacio here. They should have been thrown in for sure. Who knows? Maybe Devin and Tori made a deal with them earlier on that we just never saw. Who knows? Devin's always making deals. But they seem like they're insulated and people want them to stay in the game. So suffocating in cake is where I think they should go.
I mean, I really can't say anything different. I mean, it seems like they were safe in the dagger pool.
Not Anissa's cooch? No.
No. But it seems like they were safe in the dagger pool no matter what. I mean, Bananas and Nany weren't going to throw them in directly into the elimination. And then if they would have pulled it, they would have saved themselves and somebody else. If Anissa and Jordan would have pulled it, they would have saved Tori and Devin. And then Olivia and Horacio picked it. And that would have been their worst case of going in. And they didn't go in. And even with Tori getting super sick, they were able to just like chill out. So I actually think that they're sitting really pretty. So yeah, I can't really.
Suffocating in Tori's puke. People are agreeing with us today. Other than the Anissa at the top, we're kind of in lockstep with the audience here. Suffocating in clean alongside Fessy and Mariah. Is that where we're putting them? Fessy and Mariah. Who? Did they say anything this episode?
I mean, we'll get to the points. But they had two scenes with each other coming back from the redemption games, and they had that conversation where they both said that they felt betrayed by each other. And then when they got to see who was nominated and they were safe, they had one quick conversation with each other, and that was it.
Let's just put them in suffocating in cake, I guess.
Oh, this reminds me. Did you see Red is Not a Flavor's video?
I forgot to subscribe or get the notification. So no.
We were in it last week.
We were. Was it good?
They were talking about it was the scene where Fessel's like, I don't know if anybody's seen my partner's legs. And then there's a scene of us putting Mariah and Fessel in suffocating in cake, and then pictures of her on Twitter showing off her backside, saying that She's
Cake,
suffocating
cake,
in
cake,
cake.
cake, cake, cake. Okay, get
Yeah.
it.
I
I
was
feel like I
surprised when
need
I
to
saw it.
clip that. That's amazing. I'm so happy that we made a cut here. That's amazing. How did you feel about it when you saw it? Were
I
you
thought it was really
glowing?
funny. I was shocked because I was like sitting there just like watching it in passing, and I was like, I know that voice, and it was you. You were the one mainly talking. I wasn't talking at all in it, but I get shown, so I was cool. But yeah, it was you mainly saying Mariah's suffocating in cake, and then something about in the back end or whatever. So
Hilarious. Okay, well, if I don't find it, will you please send me the video for that? That's
oh yeah,
amazing. Amazing and hilarious. Oh wait, sorry. The entire comment section was talking about y'all. They were.
hey,
Yay. I hopefully
good
good
deal.
things. That's awesome. I'm definitely I'm gonna watch that. I won't watch it today, but I'll watch it tomorrow evening, most likely. So yeah, I think that there's still suffocating in cake here. Room to insert cake, 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 cake. Yeah, unless you have another place to put them this episode.
No, instantly when they were saved by Bananas and Nani, I mean, that's the first thing I thought of was that they have nothing they need to do. They didn't need to win. They weren't worried about anything. They were the only team that didn't have to worry about anything. They didn't have to worry about making a decision. They didn't have to worry about a dagger pull. They just got to chill. They were the only person in the audience that could just chill. So, yeah.
Yep. Boring, but that's them. I mean, I like Mariah more than I like Fessy for sure. Who else did we got? Our final couple here. We got Banani.
Dang.
Dare I say that they also are queen for the day? Dare I say? Dare I say? They won
This
that
is,
daily from what I saw.
yeah.
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
This one's tough for me because I mean, Nani gets the ultimate balloon pop with her
Oh,
girlfriend getting eliminated, and I mean, in one moment she is crying pretty heavily, and then she is exuberant for winning the daily this week's episode. So I don't know. It's tough for me because she's happy one minute and sad the next, or vice versa. Should be really.
I think though overcame. She had all like the confessionals of Casey being like, "I love you. Don't worry, you're coming back to me. Like, do it for your mom. Your mom's watching you." Like all these really people supporting her big time. And then she goes out and she wins the next daily. So I'm wondering if this is going to be the upward trajectory for their winning edit. Let's see if they do better now, because Bananas was saying like, "Oh, we're throwing all the challenges at the beginning." Well, let's see if they start winning them now that like it's the stakes are much lower and they're much closer to the final. So
Mhm.
I don't know, like I can be convinced to put them other places, but what do you guys think?
So I like that you brought up the winners edit because I felt like with her storyline this season and then the most recent edits she's been getting, I felt like this particular episode they really wanted to showcase Anissa, they really wanted to showcase Nani, but out of the two, I feel like Nani has the better chance of going the distance, especially
Mm-hmm.
with Bananas by her side and then
Mm-hmm.
having this like big hit late in the game with Casey leaving, that I just feel like it's setting up to where if I had to pinpoint it, I would say that she's getting majority of a winner's edit comparatively to anybody else left in the game
Right now,
at
yeah.
this moment.
That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know. I feel like she's queen for the day. She overcome her girlfriend leaving and was able to win the daily. And they also, arguably Fessy and Mariah are the strongest duo that are still left in the game. They kind of put them in a position where they might have to think twice about putting them in if they win power. And so I think that they strategically chose to keep Mariah and Fessy off the board, just so that maybe next time they will have the same consideration. So I think that was also strategic of them. And I think we're going to see whether or not that plays out for them as soon as next week. So I don't know. I feel like they're queen for the day, but I could also see them as stirring the pot a little bit.
This is so weird that we have nobody even close to the bottom of the board at this moment.
I mean, it was a strong episode, I thought.
I think this also shows, well, it could be looked at as a strong episode as well. I also think that with so little people, so few people, that I mean, we're getting to see more of everyone, that they're not just like completely put to the wayside, like how early on that we were saying like, oh, they weren't shown much, they didn't get a lot of like confessionals or anything. Whereas now everybody can get at least some screen time, no matter if they're involved directly or indirectly. So
Yes, everybody's able to be a part of the edit and have confessionals and whatnot. Well, speaking of confessionals and whatnot, hopefully everybody agrees with how we're feeling about this power rankings here. But Drew, as I roll my eyes that my lowest ranking team, my team that got me the least amount of points, is also gone from my team. So I won't even be looking forward to getting 1 to 2 points every other episode from them. I've lost the Clark Furniture Company, and I undoubtedly lost the draft.
well, let's just throw this out there that
You
yes,
took a
you
really
are
long
still
pause.
well, let's just say that you are in third place, but I think with Bananas and Nani still in this game, like I think there is a possibility to at least overtake Chris. Because let's talk about the points this week. You went up 52 total points this past week with how Bananas and Nani and even Casey and Kenny, with how many confessionals they got to end their season. You had 491 points coming into this episode. You got 52 points, getting a total of 543 points. Team Chris is in second place. Yes, he too has only one team, but he only went up 9 points from last week. So he went from 581 to 590. And so if you continue this trajectory, you'll be able to overtake him,
points.
especially if Fessel and Mariah somehow stumble. As long as they don't win next week and Bananas and Nani can keep on this winning streak. I mean, Bananas is getting a lot more confessionals in the last few weeks. He got 11 this week. So that's really, really strong. He's becoming a little bit more of the narrator that we thought he was going to be the whole season, instead of being completely in the wayside. So that's very promising. I will say that Casey and Kenny did end the season with 87 total points, which is by far the lowest amount of points for a team that has made it to episode 15 this season. They finish less than Jay and Michelle, who left in episode 8. They left in episode 8, and they have 116 points compared to Casey and Kenny, who stayed in the game till episode
Almost
15.
double.
That is wow. Amber and Chauncey had like doubled their points with 168. You lost them this week as well. They had a total of 168 points this past week. Nelson and Reese had 198 points and got more points than both of those two teams together. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. And then I, with my 3 teams left, is still in first place.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there. We'll leave it there. Very sad. Very sad. Oh, Christina wants to know what video that you were talking about. So it was Red is Not a Flavor, correct?
Red is Not a Flavor, this past week's video. So the most recent one that they put up is the one I was talking about.
Sweet. Definitely going to check that out for sure. I'm still really sad about this draft, but maybe the All-Stars 4 draft will make me feel a lot better. Okay. So the game that I have today, I didn't really have that much time this week, so I kind of did a little bit of an easy one. I searched the hashtag the challenge 38 on Twitter. And so I just want you to fill in the blanks with the names of who people are tweeting about under that hashtag. So some of them will be really easy. Some of them will be a little bit harder, but we'll see how it goes. So Sean Singh tweeted, blank is probably the most well-rounded challenge competitor besides CT. Definitely solidifying his GOAT status. Hashtag the challenge 38.
I'm going to
Who was
say
Sean
Jordan.
talking about? You are correct. Starting it off strong, Drew. Starting off strong. Gaslighter says, I can't take this alliance! Exclamation point, like times 15. Blank literally would have got the floor wiped with him if he was in there with blank. So he better shut up. Exclamation point. Hashtag the challenge 38.
I'm going to say
You started off right.
Devin would get the floor wiped with him if he was in there with Chauncey, so he shouldn't talk about Amber.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. They did say it wasn't Amber, but he's just said they better shut up. But yes, you are correct. It is Devin and Chauncey. Zaz online defense says blank having too much mouth on a literal challenge winner when she literally has to be carried every single time she has a partner with her non-athletic ass. Who are they talking about?
I'm sure they're talking about Anissa. Dang.
Okay, Poltergeist Activity tweets, they're talking like blank is leaving the elimination and immediately being put to death.
So they're talking about Casey?
The Unofficial Challenge podcast tweeted, you can hate him all you want, but watching blank compete in things where he clearly is disadvantaged and finds a way to win is always incredible.
Gotta be talking about Jordan.
Gotta be. Cindy with an S sus, tweets, you see how blank talked about you? ? That girl is not your friend. She literally hates you since your rookie season, blank. Please take notes.
Is she talking about Anissa and Amber?
Nani and Amber, but close.
Oh, okay.
She did say chompers, and I just changed it to Nani. I'm assuming she's talking about Nani. Sean DM Limit tweets, blank's hate for blank is so weird. Like, just admit you're upset she won a season on one try and you've lost 17 in a row.
So, talking about Anissa and her one-sided beef with Amber.
Yeah. So, Drama Banana tweets,
nice.
I want blank versus blank. Last elimination before the final, and blank winning his 6th elimination in his first season.
So it's Horacio. Is it Fessel winning it? Okay.
And who do they want to win?
Horacio?
Ding, 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 ding. You got it, Drew. Ezra tweets, I need blank's brain because why is he so clever? Who even thinks of this?
I'm gonna say Jordan.
Correct.
I was gonna say bananas, but I was like, he didn't do anything clever this week, so I'm sure it's Jordan.
This will be easy as well. Blank really just told her to be semi-athletic.
Jordan and Anissa.
Blank has some nerve saying he felt betrayed when as soon as the pair split up, he was telling Blank that he didn't give a shit about her and that Blank was his real ride or die.
Fessel and Mariah. Fessel saying that he was betrayed by Mariah. That was such a weird conversation, in my opinion.
Yes.
So weird.
It's like, are you who? We can go on about Fessy. If Blank cannot function without Blank being there, she can stop coming back.
So if Nani can't function without Casey, then she shouldn't come back.
They call her ZAC. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they spelled her name. To think that Blank and Blank were alternates is mind-blowing considering they are dominating the season.
Olivia and Horacio.
Hey! Blank and blank's hatred for blank should be studied. That girl don't do nothing to nobody.
Anissa and Tori's hate for Amber.
Close. It was Devin and Anissa's hate for Amber.
Devin, yeah, that's true.
Blank had no chance in that elimination. It's so not fair.
I'm going to say Amber because she really didn't.
AJ tweets, "We ain't got time for this blank and blank shit. There's the door, blank."
I think I saw this tweet. It's like, we don't need this Nani and Casey crap. Casey can see the door.
Yep. Happy Go Lucky tweets, "Blank's elimination record goes from 3-0 to 3-2 in one night. It's her own fault for picking her brother as her partner instead of blank."
I'm going to say Casey's elimination record and not picking Fessel.
Correct. You got it. Blank is really going home? Finally?
Casey. Kenny. No, Kenny. No,
Or
just kidding.
Blank and her bun are gone?
Oh, man. I can't believe it. I really can't.
Congrats to Blank and Blank's cooch for making it back into the house.
Jordan and Anissa and her cooch.
This one sent me. Blank was able to do what no one has done in 4 seasons. Get Blank out of this game.
Jordan and Anissa was able to do something, and that's get Casey out.
No, it's Kenny.
Oh, Kenny. Yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah.
I thought it was so funny. MV thinks that Casey needs to let her hair down more often. I mean, no, I only picture Casey with her bun, but she has really long hair.
Yeah, she does. It's she keeps it really good too. It's like
nice
whenever I see it down, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's very nice hair. Blank and Blank knew what they were signing up for when they came on this season. Y'all thought y'all were untouchable. Nobody feels sorry for y'all.
Nani and Casey felt untouchable?
Mm-hmm. And that is all the tweets for today. You did, I think you got 100%. Or like 90, 98.
It really works out that there's only like 10 people left. And only like 4 to 6 of them, 5 of them have actual like stuff that they did.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, I mean, I only was looking at tweets with that hashtag since the show aired. So those were all of them. Basically, or like 90% of them. So yeah, there's not that much to choose from for sure. But you still did a great job, and I still got to laugh a little bit. So thanks, Drew, for indulging in my silly little game.
No problem.
What do you have going on this week?
What I have going on is tomorrow doing a Patreon live like I do every Saturday night. And then Monday, I'm going to be putting out a video talking about the cast rumors for All Stars 4, giving my reactions, the background info of all the players, last time we saw them, all that good stuff that I like to do when there is a rumored cast list out there. And then doing some Patreon stuff on Wednesday, and then Thursdays live, Thursday's review and recap of episode 16 of the Challenge 38, and then Friday's Tiny Table Talk. No Cara Part 2 this week, but I'm looking at Tuesday of the following week, just so I have all my information down. The script is really good, and it gives me enough time to do all that stuff. So looking forward to that.
Me too. Thanks, Drew. And thanks everybody else for being here in the chat on Friday this week. We really appreciate you joining in on the fun, talking about our power rankings, Anissa's cooch, KCZ's. Yeah, it's super fun. I love my Friday nights. So I'm happy that you guys always come back and join us to participate. Thank you, Drew, for being here as well. What do I have going on? Obviously I'm not going to go in live this week after the episode because it's my birthday. Woo! So I will probably go out for dinner and then maybe do the recap on Thursday in the afternoon sometime. So just stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and like this video and hit the notification bell. So because if I'm going to go live at an irregular time, at least you will know when that is because you'll be notified. And leave a comment. What do we want to know? What do we want to chat about, Drew? Is this a naughty winner? Is that it? I know people are upset about it, but I don't see Olivia and Horacio winning the season. I love them. I thought they were great, but I don't see it. Do you think it's a winning edit for Nani? Or do you have another question?
No, that sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys are the best. See you next week. Bye.